Happy, happy Halloween, Halloween, Halloween. Happy, happy Halloween, Silver Shamrock. Happy, happy Halloween, Halloween, Halloween. Happy, happy Halloween, Silver Shamrock.
It's almost time, kids. The clock is ticking. Be in front of your TV sets.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Three Geeks podcast. Before I bring our guests on, I just wanted to take a quick moment to thank everybody for tuning in on Friday and the support that's been shown throughout the podcasting community. We raised $1,600 that night towards my sister's family, and I sincerely appreciate everybody so much. Mick and just everybody at the Scene Snobs. The Scene Snobs Network is no more. We're solo for right now. We're a homeless podcast. But
homeless podcast.
I do have one announcement to make before I bring our guests on, and I guess I can throw Max back into this chat. But as of now, hello. I am not starting a network. Hello. I am not starting a network.
That sounds terrible.
With that being said, I want to welcome the Perfect 10 to the Three Geeks podcasting channel. George G3 will be joining us every Sunday night at 9 p.m. just to broadcast his show. I love George. George has been a part of our friend podcast group since we left Redline Radio, and I'm just glad that George is becoming more involved with the community we've had, even though he's got a pretty shitty worst 10 movies of all time. I mean, Three Amigos as one of your worst films.
That is weird. He has not seen enough movies, but I am going to say we need to stop adding shows that have cooler names than us. It's cool. He can come on. He just has to change the name.
Yeah, it's like make sure your name is shittier than Three Geeks.
Should be on a network, Mick.
Absolutely. Speaking of things that are better than us, Kathleen Wass is joining us on the podcast today.
What's up?
Arguably, and there's arguably in there.
Thanks.
And then there's me. Hi.
What can I say? I'm just awesome.
And now you guys know the truth. Three Geeks did a corporate takeover of the network. Nah, man. If Mick ever decides to go down that network path again, we are first in line to be on a part of anything Mick does. I love Mick.
Unfortunately, you're second in line.
I guess
I'm cooler than you.
That's fair. You get a lot of American Psycho vibes from this podcast already. This is good.
I'm not.
Mick's like, if you look at the time, I got to get out of here. I got a thing.
And in moments like this, he's like, and this is why I got rid of the Scene Snobs. You nutcases.
I do unfortunately need to introduce the lesser half of Pop Culture Addicts. That is Tim. Tim, how are you doing today?
We're getting cold-blooded already. We haven't even gotten into it yet.
4 minutes in.
Jay's like, here's the awesome Kathleen. We're so glad to have her. And she brought this guy.
And here's some guy named Tim.
You know what? Yeah, at least like they said your name. It's not just like, oh, and there's the other guy.
The other guy.
He, I guess, is on the podcast.
I think his name's
the whole lesser. The lesser half. I'm only feeling emotionally compromised at the moment.
Oh, poor Tim.
Tim is going to change his name to Tog, which is just the other guy.
Me and Tim, if you guys don't listen to both of our shows, we have this ongoing fake feud that we do between both shows, and it's
real. The feud is real.
Fantastic.
Oh, it's becoming real.
Yeah. You don't say the things you say, Jason, and not have repercussions.
Well,
the feud is real.
Yeah.
Tim and I just started our 762 chat with one another. It was fantastic yesterday. As many chats as we can get in with each other, Tim and I are there. If there's a podcasting chat, Tim and I want to be a part of it.
I hope you just get a flurry of invites. Just like, I don't know where I am.
I'm gonna go to every single one I can find and Jason.
And Jason.
And Jason.
I've got some good news.
The Furries R Us podcast needs Jason.
Oof.
Ooh, that's a big one for Jason, though. That's
he's a love.
Okay, I need to be more specific. There'll be ones that I'll be avoiding to start off with. That's going to be one of them.
We thought you were members of all these.
Not yet.
We're definitely going to look into it, though.
Yeah,
we're doing research.
Top men. Yeah.
Spared no expense.
And I just want to say one more thing before you guys go off and do what we're going to do today, and we have to destroy Mr. Dan.
Why are we doing this?
But I just want to say that I think it's awesome that you're being so nice to George, where clearly there's an issue with his movie tastes.
Oh, there is.
As was demonstrated. Yeah. So I'm hoping that the perfect 10 over time allows him to make it better.
Actually, George, if you are listening, please.
Love you, buddy. Just kidding.
He's great. George is great.
Yes, he is.
Please drop your top 10 worst movies of all time in the chat so we can discuss them amongst ourselves.
Yes, please.
So that we can rip you apart.
Yeah, George, don't do that if you
when you're not here to defend yourself.
Emotional stability.
There's some good movies in his worst top 10.
Yeah, he had
just drop all of your 10s for us, and then we can do like the even better perfecty 10.
Yes.
that
even more later. Perfect 10.
Thank you, John.
I'm glad
Perfecty. It's got a hyphen and an EY.
Okay, so the only reason John says that he still loves you, Tim, is he's used to being in your position. He's used to people being like, "Oh, look, it's Kathleen and John."
That's true.
Yeah, I get it.
And some other guy. Are you different from the other guy?
I mean, only.
How many other guys do we have?
Only 2 or 3 times in our marriage has somebody actually done the. Oh, are you still married to him?
Dang.
Oh, man.
Yes, I am.
That's a rough conversation.
It is.
That means, you know what though? That means he married up, and if they're still surprised he's hanging around, he's like, "Yeah, that's right, I'm still in it." Like, you thought I'd be out by now.
Exactly.
Props to him. You know, I would take that as a compliment.
I would like to say that he married up.
You would like to. I understand that.
You can definitely say it. You're more than welcome to say that.
It has been an argument in our relationship on the How I Met Your Mother talks about the fact that there's a reacher and a settler. And I always say that he's the reacher and I'm the settler. But he sees it the other way.
Well, in my marriage, I can definitely say that I was the reacher. My wife totally settled for me. And I wore her down like erosion. It happened. It's a thing.
Persistence is key. Is that what you're saying, Tim?
Yep.
Hell yeah, it is.
Although
you gotta play the long game.
That's right.
We gotta give John. We gotta give John some serious props. He did marry 13 years younger than him.
That's important.
I mean,
which now, Jason, you need to put John's comment up on the screen because
oh
my God.
Yeah,
that's a hard conversation too.
I mean, like he wasn't 26 when you got married, was he?
No.
Oh God.
Oh man.
Yeah, it was great when I was like 38 weeks pregnant, and they're like, "Oh, so you brought your daughter?" And I'm like, "That's his daughter." Not me.
So many things I want to say that I'm not going to. Anyway.
All right. So to break the ice on teen pregnancy, we are. I got a new notebook. I know everyone calls me the notebook and pen guy, so I got a new notebook for my birthday.
Is it to track like the months of your pregnancy? Like, how does this relate back to teen pregnancy?
Oh no! We're getting away from that.
You're diverting it by your nose.
Thanks for bringing us back, Justin.
I mean,
because I thought you were using that as a segue.
Me too. I was like, did Max knock someone up? This is a great way to tell me.
No, never. No. Why would you wish that evil on me?
I didn't wish it. It just made it sound like it.
Don't even put that in the univerce, man.
Because a tiny version of yourself is the best thing you can give to the world.
I'm not crying. You're crying.
Yeah.
I am going to continue saying that as I raise a tiny version of myself. It's the best thing I've done for future generations.
So, Kathleen,
that line is such a load of crap. I have 3 tiny versions of myself running around, and it's a nightmare. I love them all dearly, but to see certain portions of my personality played out in front of me is not exactly exhilarating.
I'm pretty sure that a tiny version of me is a war crime in most places. I don't think that that's supposed to happen. I would have religious people trying to kill the child. They're like, demon spawn, be gone. No, it's
actually the Antichrist.
It just everyone's speaking Latin around Max's baby.
Right?
The power of Christ compels you.
What's going on?
The power of Christ compels you.
Max's baby has his own Jerry Goldsmith score.
Nice.
I mean, that would be kind of cool, but also
that would be cool.
No,
but that's about it.
But yeah, the new notebook. I got a new notebook. Notebook and pen guy.
Yay.
Have you written anything in notebook? Flip to the pages for me.
So far, all I've written on the notebook is Max, notebook and pen guy Andrews. That's it.
And on the inside, Max is cool in very big letters.
I kind of want to follow the progress of the notebook and pen guy just to make sure you're actually using the notebook.
Yeah.
I'm going to use it today when we do the remake.
He's going to make a nice.
So you've done no preparation.
You are going to defile your brand new notebook with a remake of Dune.
No preparation. I'm just kidding.
He's going to
defile the remake of Dune. He's going to glorify it.
I'm going to write all my judgments in here.
All my judgments.
The title page is just you frowny facing, just Max unhappy.
I hate Dan.
They somehow made Dune stuff.
We consistently let Dan lose.
Dan loses.
All right, everybody.
I'd like to congratulate Funny Science Fiction on their win today.
Oh, shit, that was quick. I would like a change of courtroom.
I would like a recount.
Change of venue. There you go.
All right.
So anyway, at 1 o'clock today, we are doing a remake revolution on the movie Dune, and we're going to do something a little different. Last time we did 2 judges, and they got to converse with one another. Today, we're not going to do that. The 2 judges will come on. They'll give their separate opinions, and then at the end of the 4 rounds, if we have ties, then we will go into the tiebreakers. So that way, they can't influence one another. It should be a lot of fun. But
as long as somebody knows what's going on, because I don't.
Oh, we won't.
Wait, hold up a second.
It's fine.
Hold up. Hold a phone. 4 rounds?
Yeah.
Maybe 5 or 6.
Did you not prepare for 4?
We may not have prepared properly for this.
Just talk to notebook and pen guy.
What are our 4 rounds?
The plot, the story.
Okay.
Director, writer.
Way to flip us off,
cast.
Yeah, right.
Marketing.
Director.
Oh, then we're good. Okay.
Yeah, we're good.
Okay.
Tim
I just misunderstood. As soon as you said 4 rounds, I was like, hold up. No. That's not what we did here.
That's all 1 round. Then round 2 is when we get in the boxing ring.
Sorry, in order to be on the podcast, you have to have the counting of a first grader. So Tim has been put into timeout for now.
Or a bass player.
Super.
Well, now he's over there.
First graders.
Bass players and first graders.
All right. Anyway, our guest is a little early, so I'm going to go ahead and pull him in here real quick, and we can talk about his new Kickstarter that is coming out. How you doing, Tom?
Good. How are you guys doing?
Good. Welcome to the madness.
Doing all right.
Appreciate it.
Good seeing you again, Tom.
Sorry, I was trying to. I know you'd said to send you my social media here, and I'm trying to kind of click on a couple of the links, and of course, it's freezing up. So
that's the way it goes, man. When you want to share something important, it doesn't work out always.
Oh yeah, timing is never on our side. So
there we go.
But you're here to promote your Kickstarter for Black Alpha. You want to tell us a little bit about the project?
I'll give you guys the quick elevator pitch. What if you took the Batman story, you sprinkled him in some Iron Man tech, and dropped it off in the middle of Star Wars?
You had me at hello.
I heard the tail end. I think of what you guys were. You guys talking about Dune when I just signed in here about a minute or so ago?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's going to be painful.
Is that correct? Are you talking about the books or the new movie?
Yes.
Yes and yes.
Yes.
We do a game on our show where two teams will pitch a remake of the movie. So the two teams will be pitching a remake to the David Lynch classic. It's kind of like topical because the new one is coming out. But were you a fan of the David Lynch film, Tom?
Well, I was actually there opening weekend in the theater when it came out, and the entire theater was dead silent almost during the entire film. And I actually sunk into my seat like I had actually made the movie myself. And
the best answer for a long-winded no that I've ever heard. That's fantastic.
Well,
where'd he go? No.
Oh, God.
You know what's crazy about?
I think
David
he disagreed with me. I think he liked it and he didn't like me saying no.
What's crazy about David Lynch's Dune is he chose to do that over Return of the Jedi because George Lucas wanted him to do Return of the Jedi.
Thank God.
Well, I want to see
Return it.
David Lynch. I'm
I want to
sorry.
see David Lynch's.
No.
Me too.
No.
I do too.
Okay, I'm back.
I want to see David Lynch's Return of the Jedi. I mean, like, there's got to be no Ewoks in that one, right? Like.
No, they'd just be more homicidal.
Well, they might actually have the Wookiees.
I'm down for that.
Man, could you imagine him murdering everything with Ewoks? More Ewoks.
If the Ewoks are a little more homicidal, I think that'd be fun.
Well, the thing is, the David Lynch Dune, though, is I've had a love-hate relationship with it through the years, and of course, upon repeated viewings, it's kind of grown on me. Yeah. I always feel like, though, that's another kind of example, like kind of how Tim Burton was brought in to do the first Batman movies, that some people kind of assume because of an auteur sort of being known for their artistic vision that they're like a right fit for certain IP. And I feel like, and there's a reason I'm bringing Dune up after I just pitched Black Alpha, by the way, is because I feel like, Dune, for a lot of the fans of the book, it's such an expansive universe, kind of being compared to like Tolkien's work, with the Middle Earth stuff, that I know a lot about the world of Dune. And I feel like, obviously Star Wars has been referenced for kind of being Dune light at times. And obviously Lucas was inspired by some of the basic, flourishes and terminology and the concepts. That my goal with Black Alpha, the comic, is to kind of make it like the Dune of the comic book world, where it's a very expansive kind of space opera story. And I, as a fan of most things pop culture all my life, I like to also do sort of a bit of a deeper dive study into the things I'd grown up loving and kind of wondering, besides something being awesome, why audiences attach themselves to a lot of IP out there. And I do feel like in Dune's case, it's got so many multi-layers of world building that the audience can take a real deep dive into. And so with Black Alpha, that's what my hope is to kind of do, like I said, the comic related version of those, the way that the books have really kind of, gained hold with an audience.
Oh, absolutely. Cool. I have, I'm a huge David Lynch fan, but I have not been able to make it 10 minutes into the Dune at all.
Well, it created such an unsettling tone.
5 minutes.
Yeah. Dude, is awesome. I don't understand that, dude, but whatever.
But let's
because
let's talk more about your stuff, Tom.
Okay. Do you want me to give a little more history, I guess, outside of Black Alpha, or what would you like to know?
Yeah, absolutely. And you were featured on Big Bang Theory.
Yeah, I drew for Marvel Comics. One time I worked on Punisher 2099. Since that time, I've worked as a concept artist for video games and film projects. And in the last 10 years, especially when Facebook took off, I'd have people asking me if I would ever consider going back to trying to attempt to work for Marvel. And I decided that if I was going to put the labor-intensive time to do comic book work or sequential again, I might as well go back to my own characters and creations. And so I made a pretty conscious choice, especially over the last several years, to really, I guess, promote my IP. And I have quite a few number of different ones, but Black Alpha is the first one. I actually created it when I was 11 years old. I was a 5th grader. And that was 1976. So it's actually been around 1 year longer than Star Wars for me. And
Oh, wow.
so
Cool.
I have a very deep attachment to this story and this world. And I've repeated a number of times that I've taken what I've loved as a child, because my first memories of television were Batman, Spider-Man, and Star Trek. When I was around 4 or 5, my dad, Bob, was stationed in Guam as a young airman. My mom, Maggie, was this awesome artist, and I picked up her drawings and tried to copy them. So I discovered like pop culture, extreme nerddom before there was probably even such a term, and drawing right around the same time. And so that kind of forged a path for the rest of my life that I was very much into to nerd or genre culture. And then, as I started doodling and really getting into drawings and discovering comic books to go along with the TV shows, I knew probably around 11 that what I wanted to do with the rest of my life, which was either be a filmmaker or draw comic books. And I figured at the time I was your pretty shy, meek, creative child who didn't think he could swim with the sharks of Hollywood. So I thought trying to do comics would be a little easier. That sort of turned out to not be entirely true. But, that's when I decided this is what I wanted to do. And so with Star Trek and especially Batman or Spider-Man being the first things I was exposed to, I pretty much theorized that science fiction and superhero mythology were something I was attached to at the same time. And so Black Alpha very much, I feel, is a reflection of that. I mean, it's got all the things I love as a fan, takes place in space, and there's a lot of deep history and politics and space opera, adventure. But I want to tell like a character piece. The lead character has an augmenting suit of armor that gives him quote unquote superpowers, kind of like Tony Stark's armor. He's got a spaceship, which is kind of like the Enterprise meets the Millennium Falcon, his base of operations and his hot ride. And it very much is a kind of a character study of the myth of exploring the hero's journey that's been referenced so much, I guess in any kind of like story that were, Paul Atreides, Luke Skywalker, Peter Parker, Bruce Wayne, like every one of them has their hero's journey. And I love that kind of reflection of our culture. And so I feel like all that comes through in the character. We launched a Kickstarter for it about a month ago. We're down to like the last 3 or 4 days, and it was funded in the first day and a half, which I'm very excited about because it's my first crowdfunder. So I definitely had the beginner's nerves of launching my first campaign, because you never know how it's going to go. Obviously, anyone that's ever done a Kickstarter, it very well could not meet its funding. And so we're excited about that. We've actually brought in an artist, John Rossetti, who worked on the Venture Brothers for Cartoon Network, and he's going to be collaborating with me to do the artwork for this book. And it's it's no hyperbole or overstating it that this is a lifelong dream come true. Decades of wanting to get this character's story off the ground. So hopefully that wasn't too much of a mouthful.
Oh, that's great. That's awesome.
That's really cool. So it's really cool that you kind of knew from a young age, like, this is pretty much the direction I want to go, and like now all this stuff is happening. So like after like you said, 76, like how does it feel? Like seeing it all happen. Like it's actually coming together. Like what's that like for you? It's
very surreal because, like I said, when I made the conscious effort over the last between 7 to 10 years to get it out in the public eye, and when I was doing convention appearances, I switched gears from like my pedigree of my career history to say I'm going to get new material and wondering how the audience was going to respond. So that was sort of the beginning litmus test of like really trying to get your own story out there and just seeing how it was going to resonate with people. And then not too long after that, it was published in the USA Today. I had stuff from it on numerous episodes of The Big Bang Theory, and then it was optioned the first of 3 times for TV and movie development. So there was that already kind of beginning surreal quality, like, maybe it has some potential. And of course, I've learned the hard way, especially when it comes to the Hollywood end, just because you get something optioned, there's no guarantee that it's going to be made, which is what a lot of projects happens to, and that's what I've still kind of currently sort of gone with the last several years. I still talk to people in Hollywood about it behind the scenes, but I don't share that stuff publicly online until I know feels like something's actually going to fall into place. So with all that being said, I partnered up with these guys, Jack Egan and John Jones from WTF Comics. we started talking roughly about a year ago, and they were asking questions probably about crowdfunding. And I had thought about doing one for years, but I just wasn't able to for a number of reasons. So they came in and did the heavy lifting. I have a partnership with them. And so finally getting this Kickstarter even out, when people have mentioned it to me for years, is also kind of its own exciting, surreal quality, because it's those little building blocks of things kind of going towards a goal. Each one is a step from where I was at previously. And so, so the kid in me, is always going to be kind of like, if he could look ahead to the future and probably have a number of feelings because of how long this has taken, he probably would wring my neck, like, why didn't you try this sooner? But I think he would also be happy because the one thing I've stated, and this is what I love about the technology age, I get to meet fine folk like yourself. I get to meet fellow nerds and geeks, that are passionate about all the things we've grown up with and connect that way. But also because of, do-it-yourself age and having, you can get custom, action figures made of your character, animation, pretty much anything, that all the things that I dreamt of as a kid, because I always wanted Black Alpha to be a cartoon, a toy line, a comic book. And even what we're doing now, I used to fantasize standing around at recess pretending I was doing interviews for it. Like I was talking to some magazine. And so in a way, that's all kind of converged to the current events because of technology. And so that feels amazingly wonderful. And then I guess kind of you're hoping that your work, pays off, I guess, because I don't know about anyone else. I've heard this from a couple people that, excuse me, since everything that I wanted to do, literally since I was a kid, none of that left me, even as hard as trying to, reach your dreams, your goals. In fact, another thing I'm going to plug real quick. On a side note, I'm actually the subject of a documentary film made by a friend of mine, Callan. He just graduated film school and he won awards. We started filming this about a year and a half ago. And what the story is about is somebody my age, and I don't care how old people, I'm 55, and I'm still trying to hang in here, achieving goals that I've had since I was a child. And having a lot of disappointments along the way. I wanted to draw for Marvel Comics. I made Marvel Comics happen. I've wanted Black Alpha to be a cartoon and toy, and I'm kind of in the midst of making those happen. But there's been a lot of, struggles behind the scenes. And then I'm also a new dad at my age. I have a 3-year-old daughter, and trying to navigate holding on to your dreams, making things happen, and still kind of navigate my role as a new father. And so those are some of the things I've mentioned in the documentary. Got the frog in the throat moment here. Excuse me. But yeah, I mean, it's sort of weird to see it all come together now, and on top of it, have people respond to it positively. So, the kid in me probably would be kind of a little surprised, but I guess in the end, really elated that I guess I stuck with it all these years.
Nice. Hey, Tom, I'm Tim from the Pop Culture Addicts podcast. We're also guesting today. I just have a quick question for you, if you don't mind.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm looking at your Facebook page for Black Alpha, and first off, kudos that this is very well drawn stuff. This is really neat.
Thank you.
I'm a huge Star Wars fan, like massive uber Star Wars nerd, and so I see a lot of, and like you were saying, I see a lot of similarities. But one of the things that you mentioned, and as was mentioned earlier, was the tie-in to Big Bang Theory. Now, being a pop culture podcast, we like to talk about how pop culture affects different things in these subcultures. So how do you see the tie-in to Big Bang Theory helping you, and how does it feel to know that you're tied to such an iconic brand?
I think, my brain, the way that I've trying to kind of view things as I've gotten older is, if you're trying to launch a comic book endeavor, you still have to somewhat treat it as a business.
Sure.
Besides the passion behind it. And I think that the opportunity of calling out like USA Today or the Big Bang Theory, things that are two fairly well-known names, I think it benefits because then it starts to bring eyes on what you're doing and build audience awareness, kind of trying to attach it to the brand of your name and your projects. And so the funny thing was, because I've been so busy, I love that show, but I never got to watch that many episodes. So when I share pictures of people noticing things, like whether it's not posters, a maquette of Black Alpha himself, about a 12-inch tall statue was in Raj's apartment. And then his ship, a 3D print of his ship, was above the TIE fighter in one of Raj's shells. People would say, "Hey, Tom, I saw this or that." And so I would constantly get pictures sent to me. And it was really a lot of fun, where I'm like, even if I'm personally not there in that set or in that story for those guys, my character kind of has like a little corner, And so that was really cool. And I feel like because Big Bang to me is a very huge reflection of where our culture has shifted, right? Like a show like that becoming so huge that speaks to anyone like us is also beneficial, that that everything is kind of tied together, and it just felt good to have it attached to that show, and I could at least reference it from time to time.
Well, see, now I have to go back, and I love Big Bang Theory. I think I've watched the series 3-4 times completely through. I love it, and so now I have to go back and see where I can find the Black Alpha stuff in it.
Definitely.
Yeah, because that's really cool.
Well, the funny thing, I've mentioned this story a couple of times, is that because I'm such a huge, also lifelong Trekkie, there was a reference that Sheldon tried to pull on Leonard, and it had to do with it was a line, I believe, from the Doomsday Machine, where they talk about Starfleet Order 104 section. I think it's section C or section 8 indicates you can commandeer a vessel even if you're not technically the captain. I like the fact that Sheldon was using that on Leonard. Leonard's like, it's not real, but I knew what Sheldon was saying. I'm like, oh, I totally know that Starfleet ordinance.
Right.
Yeah, so that was awesome to me. That
to commandeer a ship or two myself.
Well, the funny thing was, I used that on one of my coworkers in the video game industry. He was taking over for the art director for a week, and I walked up to him and said the same thing. I said, you are technically able to do this, but if I find you emotionally compromised or at worst case suicidal, I will relieve you under Section C. And he told me to get the F out of his face. After I said that to him. So
he's probably a Star Wars fan. So yeah.
And I said, well, that's going in my first report to Starfleet. So, yeah, I mean, and I get the humor behind it, but I'm like a lot of passionate fans. I really get into the minutia of the things I'm doing. And I feel like Big Bang was able to sort of toe the line between people like us and people more on the periphery that just kind of understand things on a surface level. I thought it did a fantastic job of bringing together the passion and the humor, both those worlds together.
Yeah, absolutely. But Tom, I want to thank you so much for coming on and talking to us. You're welcome on our show anytime you want to come on. I'm really glad you reached out to me. So where can everybody support Black Alpha and find you on all the socials?
Well, I primarily promote on Facebook. It's under Tom Rasch. It's TOM and then RASCH, because people want to spell it traditionally, what it sounds like. And I've been heavily promoting Black Alpha on there. And there's a Tom Rasch Instagram. I don't remember. Unfortunately, I don't remember the addies for those right now. And then a Black Alpha Facebook page. Twitter, there's a Black Alpha Twitter account. So I pretty much promote on those, but definitely on Facebook for sure. So
awesome. And the link to that Kickstarter is in the description of this video right now. Please click on it. Please give Tom a support. And from all of us, Tom, thank you very, very much.
Yeah, and I look forward to coming back on the show to nerd out with you guys about anything really sometime. So
awesome,
not
buddy.
even just in a promotional sense. So thank you guys.
Yeah.
Hey, nice to meet you, Tom.
Buddy.
All right. Yeah. I'm going to go and exit right now. All right.
See you.
All right, good seeing you, Tom. Have a good one.
Yeah, Tom's great. We met him about 6-7 months ago, and
either way, he's a great dude. Real big fan of him.
Very nice guy. But
was it Justin and I who interviewed him?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Really good dude.
Yeah. Sorry.
Big fan.
I'm waiting on Justin to send me a photo to get into the next segment that I'm about to work on.
The next segment? You said quickly, not like the next segment.
Not like 8:00 tonight or so, whatever.
He just expects us to continue sitting here waiting for him.
Yeah. Well,
he only has 2 fingers he can type with. It takes some time, okay?
Tony Stark built this in a cave. With scraps.
With scraps.
To be fair, I sent Justin this idea 3 minutes ago. So.
Yeah, it's not like, hey, put
actually,
some
8 minutes
oh, well,
ago.
if it had been, I thought it was, 3.5 minutes ago, but 3 minutes. Come on, now you're being unreasonable.
The sass, I get why you get the grief you get.
Well,
Because he earns it.
Yeah.
I'd like to point out that I am dialing this back so much right now.
Let it fly, Tim.
But Tim, I'm telling you, I get it.
Why are you dialing it back?
I do now.
Because I want people to like me.
Why don't you like me?
I'm like,
I'm already just the other guy on my own podcast.
Just love me. That's all I ask.
So, Tim, as we continue our endeavors into podcasting and we expand into Pop Culture Addicts, Are you going to let it fly? Are you going to be full obnoxious Tim?
No, I don't think people really want that.
I do.
I don't know that I want that.
I do as well, actually.
Right?
Let it fly, my guy.
While it is extremely satisfying to me, I don't feel like it will come across well.
No, it'll work great.
Either let people love who you really are, or they can go away.
If you can't love me for me,
then I'll be alone for the rest of my life.
I was worried about being. Sorry, go ahead, Tim.
The line from the other guys, I'm a peacock, you gotta let me fly.
I was worried about being notebook and pen guy, but that just came across, and the people love it, and everyone calls me notebook and pen guy. So you should just embrace it. You can be Patty Sass guy.
You keep saying the people. I do not think this means what you think it means.
If you steer into this thing, Tim, they can't use it against you.
He's like, the people call me. Well, just my mama, but my people call me.
No. It's not just my mama, because it has to be people. It's my mom and my sister. But they are people.
There's more than one.
There are people. Top men.
There's two people. Top men. Women.
Love it.
Just embrace it,
Justin,
Tim.
did we stall long enough for you? Are you done yet?
You're so close. We're so close.
Well, I gave you 3 minutes. I sassed out. Come on.
I do have a question for Kathleen and Tim. You guys are starting a second podcast.
We are starting a second podcast.
From funny science fiction to pop culture addicts. What was the idea behind doing that?
Well,
there's
since
so much more to talk about.
Since I talk all over the top of Kathleen all the time, I'm just going to jump in. But I don't try to; it just happens.
You're just bigger than me. It's okay.
So the thing behind all this is that as much as we love doing funny science fiction podcasts, and we've had some amazing guests on. We've got to talk to some really cool people across the sci-fi world. There are other things that sci-fi is pop culture, and pop culture is sci-fi. And so the more we looked at this, we went, there are ways for us to talk to other people, but not necessarily underneath the sci-fi umbrella. And we both wanted to talk to people in music and actors who were in other movies outside of sci-fi and authors and content creators, and there's so many other avenues that the umbrella of just saying pop culture allows us to go. And so for me, it was the having the ability to not say no when somebody was presented to me to come onto the show. As much as I love funny science fiction podcasts, we have a ton of fun with it. There's been times where I haven't been able to have a certain person on, or somebody's been offered to me to come on the show, and I've had to say, well, sorry, that person doesn't really fit our show, and I don't like that. And
genre.
Yeah. And so I wanted to be able to open it up and say, okay, well, yeah, I can't get them on funny science fiction, but what about having you on Pop Culture Addicts? Because you're a perfect fit for that show. And so having two shows and having, the ability to cross all lanes kind of seemed cool to me.
It is going to be fun.
And then there's Kathleen.
And then there's Kath.
She's going to smack me so hard the next time I see her.
Yeah.
I 100% get that too, because we started doing the Three Geeks podcast as geek news. And then I'm like, well, I want to do an anime. I want to talk about anime, and I want to talk about all this other stuff. And it's it doesn't really fit in for the one podcast. So I started up 9 other podcasts with 15 other people, and then next thing I know, the whole week is gone. But it's cool, and you guys should have fun. I'm glad you're doing it. It's a lot of fun.
We started booking a few guests. We're going to start interviews for Pop Culture Addicts, I think
the 11th.
And on the 11th, yeah, that's our first one. And we've got some really cool guests right off the gate. I'm kind of scary excited about some of the people who said yes right away.
The first interview you booked and you told us who it was, and I had that moment of what? We're doing what? We're talking to what?
So,
okay, we can do that.
So yeah, so we're very excited. We have lots coming up, and I think to start we're just gonna do pre-recorded to start. I don't think we're gonna jump right into lives with it, because I'm still closing up And I have a third podcast now. Pop Culture Addicts is my third podcast, but I started off with a show where just by myself called Focused on Forward, where we talked about mental health awareness and we talked about overcoming traumas and trials that people go through in life and how they do it. But that show is going to go on hiatus here for a little while, and I'm going to take a break from that. But I still have a few live shows, and I have a handful of pre-recorded interviews that need to be published. So in the midst of dealing with all that, I didn't want to throw a third live show in on top of marriage, kids, full-time job. There's only so much time in the day.
Yeah.
Like kids take up your time.
Well, yes and no, because my kids
not
are
so much. Mine, yes.
my kids are 22, 19, and 14. So, I'm.
Oh, okay. So you.
Yeah.
Whereas
You've been a bulk of them.
my soon-to-be 3-year-old is time-consuming.
Yeah. Yeah, that's.
I know what I want to talk about real
It's
quick.
so scary.
Last week, Max and I went to Dan's house to play Dungeons and Dragons, which was my first experience playing Dungeons and Dragons. And I gotta say,
tell him about your wizard. Tell him about your wizard.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, no, Jason's first character that he rolls up, he's like, guys, I did it. I got this all. I went on this website and they helped me make this character. He comes in there with a wizard with a fucking level 7 intelligence.
Oh, boy.
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
And he knows no spells.
Why did
Not
you
one.
jump stat your intelligence?
You basically made
I don't know why
Rincewind the wizard.
I don't know why the website even let him do that, but he comes in, he's like, yeah, it's all done. He's all happy with the character that he made. He's like, his name's Costanza. He's a 2'9" dwarf, and he's a wizard. He ended up with none of those things.
Now he's an elf rogue.
He's living his best life.
I mean, I do have to give D&D Beyond credit for making it so you can make non-optimized characters, because my gnome barbarian loves that. Because I have a 3-foot-tall, 40-pound barbarian character,
but
based off of my toddler.
You at least put a big stat in strength, right? I mean, he may be a gnome, but at least he's got at least a 12 strength, right?
What is her strength? Let me double check it. I don't know what her strength is right now.
I have no frame of reference, but I thought Dan was a very good DM. And it's funny because we started playing. Dan's like,
I did my best to not kill you off. Okay.
Dan's like, do you want to be good or bad? And I'm like, I want to be good. And then we start playing. I'm like, kill them all.
Yeah, sounds like you turned into a murder hobo.
Turned into a murder hobo. Yeah.
Stab the mayor.
Okay, so my level 3 character, she does have a 16 to her strength. So I mean, it's not terrible.
At least there's that. I understand gnome isn't the best for barbarian, but at least your stats reflect something you're trying to do. I just don't even understand how you have a wizard with an
intelligence.
It likes to drool a lot.
Yeah. You've got a negative modifier to your intelligence rolls. Oh, come on.
Yes, we both the Sith Ewok.
I've got a level 57 Sherpa. I don't know what any of that means, but I'm just going with it.
We will teach you, Tim.
Yeah,
I have
Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah.
So the hard part is the Steve Irwin in the top. I was just throwing that in there.
All right, here we go, guys. It's our George segment. We've got his top 10 worst movies down below.
Wow, Hitch made it. Double impact, really?
Hitch. I agree with that one.
This is so high on the iceberg of bad films.
So
yeah, you didn't hang out with Dan.
You're not even. You're like 20 feet above water level.
You're scraping the Titanic.
Listen,
it's not even
rude.
No.
There's 3 movies on here that I would legitimately say are worst films of all time. I'm not saying I like every movie on this list, but I don't think worst of all time. I'd give Mortal Kombat 2 be one of the worst of all time.
Generations.
I do too. Batman and Robin be one of the worst of all times.
I have a problem with half of his list. I'll be honest with you.
Yeah, that's probably
50% is the passing score. This ain't great.
I don't know. Number 6, I agree with.
So it's like an okay 5. It's not a perfect 10.
Yeah. Okay. I'll give you the okay 5.
Yeah.
I
have a problem with the Cable Guy being on there. I have a problem with Three Amigos being on there.
Yeah.
Right.
I have a problem with the Transformers movie being on there. It's not the best of the Transformers movies, but it's not horrible.
Whoa.
Yes, it is.
Tim.
Yes, it is.
Tim.
I feel the same about Star Wars Last Jedi and Hitch.
Yeah,
I have a real
don't think
problem
Star
with
Wars
Hitch.
Last Jedi belongs on there.
Let's
I feel
talk
like
for a
it's
second.
not the greatest Star Wars movie, but it's not a terrible movie. Like
it's not one of the worst
fucking
movies of all time.
Retaliation. Yeah.
I mean, you want to put a Star Wars movie up there? I will gladly sacrifice Phantom Menace on this altar.
Have you seen The Room?
Oh my God, Phantom Menace is not the worst of the prequels.
But the room doesn't go in here either because that's fun.
Clone Wars is the worst of the prequels.
That was a rough movie to get through, Dan.
I don't know, man. I mean, it's
tearing me apart, Lisa.
And without the room, you're not going to have the disaster
artist. Disaster artist was great.
So,
the room was not great.
Yeah, it's still hilarious though.
I know. Dan. Yeah, no. I think George and Dan should create a podcast together. That's what they want. Dan just tries to lower the bar of his top 10 movies.
Yeah, no props.
George throws out a list and Dan's like, nope, I can go lower.
Yeah.
I'm
the James Cameron of bad movies.
It's just Dan bullying people into thinking his way.
Well, it's not even my way. It's just like you guys need to expand your horizons of shit. Okay, this is all big budget ass, super duper movies.
James Cameron at the bottom of the Mariana Trench with bad movies. Like he does not.
This is nothing.
He won't go.
Yeah, there's so much worse.
How about some Godfrey Ho movies?
How about the fact that Dune's not on that list?
I love how George gave us an angry face on Facebook. Thank you, George. I respect that response.
I love George. I got a beef with Tim now, more so than I've ever had a beef with Tim. Tim just said that Transformers wasn't the worst thing ever.
It's not the worst thing ever.
Yeah, Transformers is some of the worst.
Oh, I can't wait to see where you go with this. I'm listening.
It's bad.
Tim gives me shit about my fandom for Van Damme, but I'm sorry. The Transformers movies are worse. I think the acting in those are worse, right? I mean, just as bad.
Well, yeah, and then like what gets me about the Transformers movies?
Can somebody else mute him?
So, what gets me about the Transformers movies is that like you pulled Justin off. Okay, it like
I can control from the back.
Where the robots fighting each other. When they get to fighting each other, you can't tell really what's going on with the action. And so that's I don't like the Decepticon designs really. I thought they dropped the ball on that. They tried to keep the Autobots to their older, there were renditions of the older designs, but the Decepticons, they're just like, we're doing our own fucking thing. Like I don't
I didn't like that they went PC with the Decepticons, especially with Megatron.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's so yeah, there's a lot. I feel like there's a lot to there's not a single Uwe Boll movie on that list.
See?
Yeah, so I think what was it? Alone in the Dark was the first movie I ever stopped watching halfway through. Like, I'm not doing this.
Hollywood Homicide.
Okay, and frankly, if you don't have Eddie Murphy's The Golden Child on this list, one of the worst movies of all time, I question your sanity. Outside of the line, I want the knife. It's the worst movie I've ever seen.
Brother Newton shit. That's one of my favorite movies of all time, sir. I'm sorry.
I've never seen that movie.
The Golden Child's one of your favorite movies?
I mean, it's not like top 20 or anything, but I really like the
so many questions. So many questions.
I really feel it now. Like Tim, George, and Dan need their own podcast.
Okay, so Dan, first question.
Yeah.
Who hurt you as a child?
Did you grow up under high power lines?
And you started crying about Star Wars, and it was very sad.
The better question is, who didn't hurt Dan as a child?
I did notice that as soon as I asked, Dan started rocking back and forth. Like,
I
can get through this.
Oh God, the drama.
Do we have topics?
No.
I think,
Are you new here?
We have jumped the shark on any topic that's been laid in front of us.
Apparently, we have a couple pictures to show, but they never showed up. So who knows?
Yeah, I did show the picture.
The new
right here.
movie.
Steve Irvin on the top. Look at that. Steve Irvin.
Oh, that's
copy paste over.
I do want to give them a plug since George was just a sport about us making fun of them. The Perfect 10 is tonight. George and Clint are great. I love these guys. So
they're good dudes.
Definitely,
really good dudes.
Definitely check it out. And George is excited to be a segment on our show. George, got you, man.
Love you, George. You're a good dude.
I figured since we're remaking Dune, I decided to do a special commercial break because we're in the middle of Justin and I reconfiguring all of our videos for intros, middles, and outros. So until then, Tim and Kathleen, I know you haven't seen this yet. Please enjoy this. Everybody will be back right after this.
Hey everybody, so I finally gave in and witnessed the Emoji Movie. And I gotta say, I was a little, let's say, anxious about this particular viewing because everything I'd seen before the actual film itself had kind of prepared me to just expect the most kind of shallow, pandering, product placement type of corporate by the numbers release that you could expect. Everything from the posters to the trailer. But after seeing the actual film, in the context of its story and its characters and the world it creates through the animation by Sony, I can't lie, I actually had a pretty decent time with this film. So let's get into a lot of the pros, because there really aren't that many cons as far as I can tell from my viewing. I really don't understand what everyone else critically, why everyone's gung-ho to go after this particular film. People have been saying, ever since the Lego movie, that kind of, even though that was a good movie, that opened up the doorway for a lot of, these types of product-driven films that their sole purpose is to get you or to get your children to buy that toy, to buy that game, to buy whatever.
Download the Just Dance app now.
Honestly though, I can see the Emoji Movie, it went above and beyond what it should have. It really did create this very elaborate world, and it just draws you into the atmosphere and the mood. Everything is so imaginative and detailed. Everything from the giant mushrooms to flying those dragons, those banshees, and you gotta plug in your ponytail and interact with nature. It's a very immersive experience to get into this world. But I know what you're saying out there. An immersive experience is only as good as its characters. And thankfully, this movie has some of the most well-rounded and most sympathetic characters in cinema today. I mean, you really get the plight of Rick and Ilsa in this film. They're torn apart by conflict and strife taking place all over the globe, circumstances against their love. When they reconnect after years from not seeing each other, you get this longing but also this resentment, which is further encompassed by the phenomenal soundtrack that's headlined by As Time Goes By. But not only our two leads are really relatable and enjoyable, but the supporting cast is actually really well done. I mean, when Baby Groot first falls off of this tree and interacts with our leads for the first time, it's actually a really heartfelt and thought-provoking thing. And best character ever, James Corden, you are a comedic genius. But speaking of phenomenal supporting cast and lead, as I was saying, speaking of phenomenal supporting cast, the plot itself is you really get involved in it. You really have no idea where it's going at times. Is Mrs. Bates actually the killer? You never know. You can't really anticipate the twists and turns. Is she the killer? Is Bruce Willis actually a ghost?
PlayStation 4 is everything.
Sorry guys, I'm back. So, where was it? Mrs. Bates. Is she the killer? What happened out on the boat with Fredo? Edward and Bella with the CGI baby.
Christian Grey. James Corden is a hack.
Oh God! Emojis are the best form of communication since the invention of cave drawings. God, watch the movie, give Sony money, give them your cash. I'm sorry, the emojis. Big dance number, buy Just Dance. Buy the app, buy Just Dance. I'm sorry.
I see. It's a shame that Mike doesn't do a weekly show because he should be more involved in what we do. But Mike is a great contributor to us, and that is the emoji trailer. Had it been done by David Lynch, and I think Mike is a comedic genius. And that's the best 5 minutes on YouTube, if you ask me, right there.
I think I need to go talk to my counselor after that.
Yeah, you definitely need a therapist after that one.
I'm gonna do what Dan was doing just a minute ago. I get through this. I can get through this.
Yes, it's fine.
I'm safe. I'm safe.
And now you found a bad movie. You see, it's not any of the ones you were talking about before.
The emoji movie. I haven't seen it.
No.
Well,
no,
I mean,
not doing that.
I've watched the review.
I like
we just watched.
I have not. Ooh, although I finally got around to watching that Nick Cage Five Nights at Freddy
Big
ripoff.
movie.
Was it good?
I really liked it.
I thought you would. I thought when
Willy's
I mentioned it in the
Wonderland
chat, I
one?
was like, I don't like this.
Yeah,
I want to see the Pig movie.
I like that Nick Cage doesn't talk at all during the whole movie. It's
He's just Nick Cage.
odd. Yeah, he's just Nick Cage playing pinball, beating the shit out of animatronics.
I do want to see Pig as well, Max. I haven't seen it yet.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, this is why you come to the Three Geeks podcast and why you bought the ticket.
Let's get ready to remake! I am Mike McG from YouTube's Mike McG TV. And the Three Geeks podcast and I officially welcome you to the ultimate movie nerd and fan competition.
Get away from her, you bitch!
Prepare for the remake revolution.
Go.
Teams battle it out for geeky dominance as their movie reboot and remake ideas face judgment. Each team's idea lives and dies by 4 specific categories. They are story pitch.
I'll be back.
Writers and directors.
I am Iron Man.
Casting.
I am your father.
And marketing.
You are tearing me apart, Lisa!
When all is said and done,
one shall stand, one shall fall.
There can be only one.
And the world shall know whose remake is truly revolutionary. The remake revolution begins now.
Does that still give you goosebumps, Justin? Like listening to that?
100%. Mike did such a good job with that from our remake.
It made me nervous.
March Madness.
I wasn't nervous before. Now I'm nervous.
I feel like it suddenly thinks that it's cooler than we actually are.
All of a sudden, I'm like, wow.
I've known that for a while.
Yeah.
Tim's like, I've seen the Three Geeks podcast.
Serious.
They've never had that kind of production value.
yeah. Production value? People buying tickets? What is this?
I went into this was like, oh, we're just gonna sit around and talk. It's gonna be a lot of fun. And all of a sudden, there's like this whole movie trailer thing, and all of a sudden, I'm like, oh, yeah.
Well, to be fair, that was
for this.
It's the Inception noise, isn't it? The
Pretty much.
Yeah.
All right.
To be fair, it wasn't for March Madness.
If you didn't plan 7 or 8 explosions, you were wrong.
Yeah. Thank you, Michael.
You did not film a commercial. You are also wrong.
All right, I'm I'm going to do this in the same vein that we did the Remake Revolution tournament, which means I'm going to drop everybody from the screen except for me and the competitors. And then I'll bring the judges up after both competitors go so they can ask their questions and so forth. And since Funny Science Fiction / Pulp Culture Addict is new.
What?
What are you saying?
Did you say Pop Culture Addict?
Yeah, is it pop or pulp?
It's definitely pop.
Like orange, like an orange?
No, no.
Like
popular.
As in popular culture.
No, Jason has trouble with names because, our good friend Brian Lau writes a comic book, Staunch Ambition. Jason could not get that name right for 5 or 6 months. It was Stank Ambition.
I would like to read Stank Ambition.
Yeah. All right, now it's time to stop everybody from the stream and just go to Dan and I.
That's the name of my new podcast is Pulp.
Stank Pulp.
Stank
Dan,
Pulp.
what is your pitch / story?
Okay, so for Dune, which is one of my favorite movies, so I just pretty much pulled out all the stops. It's going to be a massive production. We are talking more than a movie, more than a stage show, more than a musical. First, in theaters. In select theaters, you're going to have 3D imaging equipment that not only makes the movie 3D without glasses, but shoots out cool ass shit like from the screen. I also like the punk rock name of Stank Pulp. Thank you, Justin. Anyway, you're gonna have 3D, like these box projectors, like showing you sandworms and spaceships and folding space and all kinds of shit. We're also just going to take over the Pantages Theater because no one cares about the Phantom of the Opera anymore. So that's going to be where the Dune house show is going to completely live. There will also be a traveling circuit of the main cast that will perform Dune, which is going to be make it a 5 or 6 hour production. It's going to actually explain everything that was not explained during the David Lynch movie. Also, I'm taking the voice module guns away because it wasn't in the book. It's going to be a massive production. You're going to need ILM plus almost every other special effects group in Hollywood to make this film. It's going to be, it's more than a film. It's a spectacular. It's the biggest show ever made. And I'm just going to rip that straight off of Barnum. There you go.
Wow. That's going to be a $12 trillion movie, but
more than that. Much more. It's you could probably just base most of Europe's economy off of it. It'll be like Metalocalypse.
Okay. Awesome. All right, let's see what the other team has. We'll see you in just a few moments, Dan. Okay. Kathleen, Tim, what is your guys' pitch / story?
All right.
Well, in order to do that, we have to preface it a little bit because this helps set the pitch. So I do have to tell you who the cast is, and I need to tell you what's that?
You can't yet.
Well, I kind of have to, otherwise our pitch is written around the cast with the cast mates' names in it. We didn't realize that we had to separate those.
Oh, okay. I'll allow it.
So that's the only reason why. So we decided that we are going to entitle this "The Muppets Must Flow," a spectacular Muppet musical adaptation of Dune.
Oh yeah, you can mention the Muppets now. That's fine.
So our cast is the Muppets, and we
can go into specifics later.
Yeah. We're going to go into specifics later, who's cast where, but with Patrick Stewart as Gurney Halleck and Sting as Floyd Rotha, and there's a very special surprise cameo. No spoilers. I'm going to let Kathleen present that in the pitch.
Okay. Are we ready for this pitch?
I cannot wait, but I do have a set photo from your movie that I'm about to pull up. But go ahead, Kathleen.
Okay. A true and faithful adaptation of Dune is nearly impossible within the confines of a single film. It can only truly be done proper service as a long-form television series. However, we're not here to pitch the TV show. We're making a movie. So what? Accurate. Okay.
That's how we came up with the idea. Yes.
I thought that was John's head injury, but either way.
Either way. Seemed to work.
So the biggest challenge to overcome with Dune is that there's a remarkable amount of information that allegedly needs to be dumped on the viewer in order for them to understand the story. So we have decided that given the stellar cast that we have at our disposal, we're going to sidestep that and jump right into the story. Because if Gonzo and Rizzo can't explain anything important in under 30 seconds, it's not important for our story. Right? Anybody disagreeing here? No?
Nope.
I didn't think so.
I'm not. I'm in agreement.
So I think that that's the general pitch is Muppets and more Muppets, because I don't think Muppets can make things worse.
They might be able to.
I don't know. I don't want to go too deep into the story part of it because it does give away some of the casting.
So okay. we'll wait for the casting section for the rest of it.
That's fair. That's 100% fair. One more photo right here. I am going to pop on everybody else real quick. So Max and Justin can take the time to ask you guys some questions. Go ahead, guys.
Okay.
I feel like cocaine was used for both of these pitches.
Mostly ahead of
I'm not sure who used more cocaine. That's what's getting me. Is like I don't know. All right. So Dan,
buckle up,
you
sweetheart.
are
I
doing
don't think it's more interesting from here.
That you're doing like a hard. You're staying to story. Like.
We're staying to story, but it's also going to be a musical.
Right. Oh, it's
all
real
uncomfortable.
Okay. Oh,
yes. Can we not do that?
Wow.
John, please make sure our child is no longer watching.
Yeah, no longer watching. We've gone past the PG.
Is the rare actual like they're both musicals?
They are.
Yeah.
They would both be musicals, yes.
Okay,
because Muppets. The Muppets aren't going to do something.
Are the Muppets? Are we doing? What rating are we thinking for the Muppet movie? Are we staying like PG? Or are we trying to get like
it would have to be PG.
Happy Time Murder type of deal?
It'd have to be PG.
It's Muppet, so it'd have to be PG.
Get any further than that, and you're going Avenue Q, and that's not where we're going with this.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah, and Dan, you're looking for more of an R rating?
NC-17,
PG-13 to R.
PG-13 to R.
He meant NC-17.
I'm not entirely sure how. Hey, this is my pitch song. you wander down there, and I'll talk to the nice man. Okay.
We all float down here.
That is what it's feeling like.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if there's enough violence in Dune to merit an R, but it's definitely going to look trippy, so they might give it an R anyway.
All right. All right, so I guess I'll just wait for the cast because we're going to get some more plot in the casting for the funny science fiction. So I'll wait on that. Now, if I have any more questions, I can just ask them later.
Yeah, I think I've got the idea for both groups. I'm good. Thank you.
Yeah. Yep. I'm all good.
All right. I'm going to keep funny science fiction up real quick because now we are discussing writer and director.
Okay, so our writer and director of the movie is Taika Waititi. So I love his work in like Thor Ragnarok, the Jojo Rabbit, other stuff like that. He's got a great sense of humor that can take even complicated things and make them funny and interesting, difficult things funny and interesting. And he has an overall great sense of humor. I love the fact that he made Korg in Thor Ragnarok, who's a creature built from rocks, lose to paper, and a rock paper scissors joke. That is phenomenal to me. Yes, Taika Waititi is awesome. But we also included under the writing and directing umbrella. We decided that because of our movie being a musical, we need to make sure that the writing of the music soundtrack and score was just as important as who was writing the movie. And so we wanted to make sure that we included Lin-Manuel Miranda as the musical score and soundtrack writer.
Nice. That's a fascinating combination to be involved with the Muppets, I would say.
Well, they both have good senses of humor, and they're both highly creative people. So including them into the into the Muppets universe to me seems like a win.
Mm-hmm. And I mean, we know that Lin-Manuel Miranda can write some pretty epic rap battles, which would be awesome with Muppets.
Oh my God, yes. Oh,
Right?
I can't say too much. I don't want to get the judges any ideas, but all right, that's awesome. I'm gonna go to Dan real quick, see what he's got over there. Dan.
Okay, so mine is co-directed by both Darren Aronofsky and Steven Schwartz, who, if you don't know, was the director of writer-director of the Wicked play. And since they're doing the soundtrack as well, I'm bringing in Howard Shore and John Oliva from the Trans-Siberian Orchestra, with special guests Joe Satriani, Eric Johnson, Joe Bonamassa, and Kevin Moore to do all of the soundtrack.
That is fantastic. I'm not going to pull photos for every single one of those people, but I will give you a photo of this guy.
There you go. the lamest guy in the whole thing I just did.
But he's the least known, I would say.
Give me a Satriani, shot at least. Come on, man.
Satriani? How do you spell that?
Yeah. Oh my God. Satriani.
For all the children out there, this is ABCs with Dan and Jason.
Yeah, apparently.
All right, here we go. I got a photo of this dude.
You got a photo of this dude?
It kind of looks like Chris, who used to own.
Yeah. Except he's cool.
All right, here we go. Let me pull this up real quick. Boom.
There we go. That is Joe Satriani. And a 7-string Ibanez. Very nice.
But awesome. This is shaping up to be a fascinating couple movies here. Let's add everybody else back in so the judges can ask the questions. Judges, take it away.
Did you have any questions, Justin?
Well, it sounds like you don't.
I do, but it's a lot. So I just want to let
you go first then.
If but it's a lot.
Then go ahead.
I'm not worried at all.
What have we gotten ourselves into?
Yo, Dan, of the fucking 95 people you just listed off, what do they fucking come from? Look, I don't know any of those people.
Howard Shore did the soundtrack for Lord of the Rings above other things.
Okay.
John Oliva is the writer for the Trans-Siberian Orchestra, who do the Christmas stuff, but you can also look at their other.
Yeah, I know. I'm aware of Trans-Siberian Orchestra.
Joe Satriani, Eric Johnson, and Joe Bonamassa are some of the greatest guitarists who live.
Amazing guitarist.
Kevin Moore is the keyboardist from Dream Theater, who
that's what I thought.
Is one of the best keyboardists.
Okay. Ridiculous.
And they're basically that's the best pit orchestra that I can make.
Okay. All right. Cool. I have a little more understanding now. Okay.
And you know what? We're gonna throw in all the guys who used to be in Sabotage that didn't make to the Trans-Siberian Orchestra because that'll work too. Now I'm happy.
That's a lot of people.
Yes.
Spare no expense. Spare no expense.
I just
like
put Trans-Siberian Orchestra and every other fucking person.
Yes, that also works.
What a wonderful note.
All right, that's
Report notebook.
All right, that's all my questions.
All right,
go ahead. Sorry.
Let's go. Justin, did you have a question?
No, I think Max asked every question I could possibly ask. I think we nailed it.
Real quick,
So is it a good thing we're not getting questions for us? Does that mean that you actually understand us, or?
No. I
Yours
know
is much more straightforward.
What TD is, and I know who Lin-Manuel Miranda is, but for your notes, I do have Jojo Rabbit and Hamilton. That's what I wrote down.
He also did that new one, In the Heights, right? Did he write the music for In the Heights? Yeah.
Yep.
Yes,
and Moana.
Yeah.
He wrote the music.
That's on HBO Max, by the way.
Yeah, Lin-Manuel Miranda is all over the place.
Dan, Max also needs the social security numbers of everybody that you
apparently.
Yeah. goodness sake. All right. Yeah, no, I'm good. We can move.
All
right, Dan. What is your cast?
Well, since they kind of stole my thunder on this one, I'm just going to lead with Paul, who is going to be Lin-Manuel Miranda, because why not? Then you've got Chani is going to be Lizzie Hale. Alia, who's Paul's sister, is going to be Billie Eilish. Duke Leto is going to be Bruce Dickinson, the lead singer of Iron Maiden. Baron Harkonnen is going to be Meatloaf. The princess, the one that gives all of the narration, is going to be Casey Lee Williams, who does the vocals for all of the Ruby songs for the animated series. Look it up; it's fucking phenomenal. The Emperor is going to be Tim Curry. Kynes, the government dude, is going to be Anthony Stewart Head, because he doesn't get a whole lot, but if you've seen Repo, the genetic opera, he's got a fucking range.
Oh, dude,
and,
I love Anthony Stewart Head.
Yeah, and Fade Routha, whose name is Fade, not Floyd, by the way, is going to be played by Ed Sheeran. Against type, because I want him to have like a happy song, you know, where he's singing like something about love, and then it pans down and he's like ripping the wings off of some kind of indigenous bird or something. I want him to be evil. And that's my cast.
All right, awesome. Let me bring on Tim and Kathleen. How are
This
you
is
guys?
where we just sit staring at the headlights with the I don't know who half of these people are.
So I said earlier that, again, the generalized Muppets cast, Patrick Stewart is going to be Gurney Halleck and Sting is Floyd Ratha.
However, Kermit as Paul, Miss Piggy as the princess, because Kermit and Piggy. That's just how it works. So Dan's gonna scream in the background about this one. I know he is. I can feel it already. So I only made it to 30 minutes in the movie. So the scene where Patrick Stewart comes in and right before the weird shield fight thing, there's the three guys that walk into Paul to talk to Paul. So we're keeping Patrick Stewart, but then the other two are being replaced with Deadly and Sam the Eagle. So the eyebrow guy is replaced by Sam the Eagle. So Paul's mom is actually going to be played by Camilla the chicken, because the chickens are now all of the weird witch ladies.
Ben Gesserit.
Weird witch ladies.
I know, but I'm just helping.
Thanks.
That's what I do. You're welcome.
Need your help. No. So see, he fits for the eyebrow roll. That was about all. However, we had already mentioned that Sting remains in Sting's role, right?
Especially because of Speedos.
However, here is the spin on that. So, the dirty fighting fade is frog slapped into an oblivion by Paul, but it's not actually Sting. It's Jean-Claude Van Damme.
Guys, I'm not a judge. I mean, I appreciate
in disguise.
That very, very much.
Wait, just hold up. Just wait.
In disguise. You can continue, Tim, because I know you want to.
You guys,
I do. So we've had Sting. He's been kept under a hood and his dialogue being dubbed over, who doesn't have a ridiculous accent up until now. And we realize, like she said, we realize that it's Jean-Claude Van Damme. And in the ensuing fight, Floyd is frog slapped into oblivion, like she said, by Paul. Now, just remind you, Paul is Kermit the Frog. Now, he's not going to beat Jean-Claude Van Damme just physically, but there's going to be a rap battle a la Hamilton style there that's been arranged by Lin-Manuel Miranda. So, yeah.
So Jean-Claude Van Damme rap battle? That's what you're giving me?
Yes.
A Jean-Claude Van Damme rap battle against Kermit the Frog, where Kermit the Frog eviscerates him lyrically. Yes.
I'm okay with that. I just want to see Van Damme try to rap. I think that's
so.
It'll be great.
Nice. I would be better if I was a judge, guys. But
and then there's the finish, of course.
Sure.
The finish.
We end with Paul ascending to the throne of the Empire, with Piggy by his side. They're now the sovereign rulers of the known universe. And although there's 8 more books to adapt, we're going to stop there because that just seems like a good place.
Yeah, I'll let yeah. Go ahead, Max. Justin, makes sense.
Okay, all right. Starting, or you go ahead. You go ahead, Justin.
No, you had something in the gun. Shoot it. You're good.
Dan.
Yeah.
All right. I've got Hamilton playing Paul.
Yes.
As you said, Alia's Billie Eilish.
Yes.
Baron Harkonnen is Meatloaf.
Yes.
The Emperor is played by Tim Curry.
Yep.
And Fred Routha is Ed Sheeran.
Yes. Fred is Ed Sheeran.
Okay, now go ahead and list off anyone not named.
Anthony Stewart Head plays Tynes, the professor guy who gets sent out in the, go to your desert and die. He's that guy.
Yeah.
Casey Lee Williams plays the princess. Leto is Bruce Dickinson.
One sec.
And while we go into silence,
Bruce
here on
I'm
giving him his
write down a
second.
notebook and pen guy.
And Chani, the love interest to Paul, is Lizzie Hale.
Which, by the way, if you're doing a musical, having Lizzie Hale is pure genius. I freaking love her voice.
I really like Dan's cast. I think he I like that he mixed a little bit of modern and classic, and I'm in.
Okay.
And I have to give Dan props for including Lizzie Hale and making the ginger Ed Sheeran an evil man. I think that's fantastic. Well done.
Because he has no soul.
Yep, soulless ginger.
Sorry, ginger listeners, we don't believe that.
And Tim,
speak for yourself, Justin. Speak for yourself. All right. And funny science fiction. All right, so I got Patrick Stewart as Gurney Halleck.
Yeah.
Kermit as Paul. Miss Piggy is Chani.
Sure. Yeah, that sounds right.
Piggy is.
Yes, the love
said
interest?
the princess.
The princess. Love interest,
Whatever.
princess, yeah.
Chani's not the princess.
Okay.
Eh.
Okay.
Nobody
So
actually
I've
watches
seen
this
the
movie.
30 minutes of the movie. Yeah.
Right.
Look,
Okay,
neither one of us made it
so-
past 30 minutes. We relied on a person with a head injury to write this for us, okay? So-
There's a princess and a guy named Floyd, and
All right, so I got Paul's mom as Camilla the chicken.
Yes.
Yes.
All right, so Sting / Jean-Claude Van Damme is who?
Floyd Rotha.
Oh, okay. Fred.
Not Floyd. I said
Right.
Floyd.
Fade.
I've always said Floyd. Leave me alone.
Fade Routha.
And
Okay.
I said Fred, and the name is actually pronounced Fred, so that's what we're gonna go
I like.
Close enough.
Fred.
I am
Fred is
totally down
fine,
with
that's
Fred.
fine.
We're good with Fred.
He's Floyd the barber.
It's a weird sentence,
Good with
Tim.
Floyd the barber too. That's down.
All right. And then, who is the eagle playing?
Super Howard. There, I'll just help you guys out there.
The big dude with the eyebrows. That's all I can
Eyebrow
remember.
guy. That's right.
Thufir.
Okay, so the eagle.
I know it's written down somewhere.
They didn't give them the most ridiculous names. It would be easier to remember them.
I'm sorry, science fiction podcast people. You can't have regular names like Joe or Bob.
There's been plenty of good sci-fi with regular names.
Yes, Flash Gordon. He plays football in the American version.
Okay.
Well, we kind of walked face first into that one.
We did.
Yeah, I might have to dock you guys a couple points on that. But all right, I'm good. I'm good.
Way to
with
go,
that.
Kathleen. Well done.
There's obviously nothing in this for me.
This was never for me.
Okay. Yeah, and have either of you read Dune?
No.
Yes.
Like,
Okay.
I did.
All right,
honestly, But in all transparency, I was like 14 and didn't know better. So,
or the other 5 books that are there.
No, actually, I didn't
cool.
actually mind the book. I thought Herbert's writing is amazing. I just didn't think the movie's transferred well. So that's just.
Oh no, the movie's terrible. But I was just making sure there's some
right to Dan's
small
heart.
frame of reference.
Movie's awesome.
Right to Dan's heart.
All right, cool.
No, Dune, the thing is, there's no middle ground with the Dune movies. You either like them or hate them. There's nobody really sitting in the middle going, yeah, they're not that bad. It's very divisive when it comes to the movie Dune. So,
yes, I would definitely agree. With that. That's all the questions I got though.
Okay. I only had questions around the names of the cast members, and Max, you covered that. So
names of
all right.
Honestly, with us, it was the general pick them up and put them there.
Right.
I mean, but you included my favorite one. The eagle guy with the eyebrows is one of my favorite Muppets.
Sam the Eagle is pretty fantastic.
No, we're the 2 guys that sit in the balcony.
Yeah,
that's a good point.
I'm not sure where Statler and Waldorf are because I'd have to watch more of the movie to know where they fit.
Okay. Right.
I'm docking you points for that sentence.
I know there's someone making horribly snarky comments about the fact that they've been.
We started at 0.
Here's the sad part of this.
Through this pitch, we've now at negative 25.
I know because Max is one of the judges that I'm going to lose, but now I'm going to lose to the people that didn't even watch the fucking movie.
Poor Dan.
Last time we get to be on the show.
You're only losing on principle, Dan. That's it. I
we just barely got a participation trophy. It's
marketing
okay.
campaign. Why Dan cleans up the mess from his head exploding.
All right, so marketing. So there's the famous quote from Dune is young Paul Atreides, put your hand in the box. Or something along those. It's pretty close to that, but he's told to put his hand in the box. So I thought about that, and I thought, well, who could sell a really cool Happy Meal where you have to put your hand in the box to get what you want? Well, you could say McDonald's because McDonald's is everywhere, and that's easy. But why not a company with the name Box already in the name? Jack in the Box. So I thought it'd be cool to have Jack in the Box sell a Dune box that you have to put your hand in the box. And then there's also what's in the box from 7. There is that, of course. But that's another pitch for another time. But you have to put your hand in the box in order to find out what's in there, your food and everything else. I thought there could be some really cool play on that with Jack in the Box.
Mm-hmm. So all of our marketing going through Jack in the Box because you want American audiences to watch your movie, you feed them. And they like fast food. But that's just...
And it wasn't your average McDonald's, Burger King, Taco Bell, Arby's type of thing. I wanted something that was a little bit more different, but still played to the put the hand in the box thing. So
nice. Taco Bell is used all the time in these. So kudos for not choosing Taco Bell.
Hey, look at us go.
Yay. Hey,
we might not get points, but we cut kudos.
I'm saying we're giving us 5 more points back for that. We're at negative 20 now. So.
All right, let me pull Dan up, see what his marketing is. And we'll get right back to you guys in a second. Dan.
So, as everybody knows, the famous line from Dune is, what we've got here is failure to communicate. So play it again for me, Sam. So you see, I'm just no, actually, yeah, we want the soundtrack to get everywhere, to have marching bands playing it down the fucking field at halftime. So neither was yours, Tim. Yeah. So we're gonna push that soundtrack huge. We gotta like recoup all of this money that we're spending to buy that theater in Canada and everything else. So yeah, there's gonna be a giant marketing expenditure. We're also probably gonna buy oil fields in Iraq since there's gonna be sand. there. So we're just going to go ahead and buy those fields and subsidize the oil into gas to make more money. So you can buy your Dune branded gas, which will be great. Yes. Yeah, but it's not that movie, Kathleen. See, we're actually going to have decent CGI, where we're going to have footprints and people that can act and sing. But yeah, we're just going to go straight Happy Meal with it. You can like get lots of Happy Meals and build a sandworm, and it just keeps growing and growing. So you have to keep buying Happy Meals. Yeah. Like you got to market it as like a once in a lifetime awesome audio video thing to go see it in the actual like theater with the people actually singing. So you got to push the shit out of that. It's like, Phantom of the Opera ran for, God, is it still running there? I'm not sure, but it was at least going for like 25 years. So there you go.
So wait, if there's no middle ground on Dune, people either love it or hate it. Does that mean that it's the original sequel trilogy?
No. People are just a lot more butthurt today than they used to be about fucking everything.
That's true. Those are facts.
Hashtag not my whatever.
And
Yo.
The Pantages Theater is actually now the Ed Mervish.
Oh, I don't care.
Thank you, Kathleen. I did care.
I just know I went there once when the chandelier fell down and it was cool.
I went and saw Phantom in 97.
I've never seen it. Any incarnation of it.
You make me kind of sad, Jason. But
I plan on rectifying that.
Which, on another show, when we're not about to figure out whether or not Dan actually beat us at this, I will talk about the reasons that it was a problem that I went and saw Phantom in 97, but that's for a different time.
How was that a problem?
She was 2.
I was 5.
Oh.
Today on Making You Feel Old, Kathleen.
Yeah, really.
I don't have any questions. The marketing is fairly straightforward.
I mean, oil fields. We're buying oil fields, Dan?
Yes.
I think the pull from the purchase of the oil fields is Dune gas. That's
I mean, you have to recoup the money for this $13 trillion
I was going to say, Dan obviously has no budget to his movie over there.
You know how much money you can make off of that shit. You're just going to have to, get somebody to sell it to you to begin with.
Just Saudi princes and the Dune production company coming to
see.
We're gonna need to have this.
Dan responded to one of the Saudi prince emails and suddenly can afford to make a movie.
Yeah. See,
the Nigerian prince are gonna sell Dan sand.
I thought Nigeria was in the jungle, but I was wrong.
That's funny.
Is that everything?
Wow, judges, do you guys need a minute to figure out who you want in each category to be a winner?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to drop you guys out.
Do you have any closing statements, Tim?
I do. I have one closing statement.
Go ahead, Tim. Sorry.
Okay. So, most importantly, even though we've had the assistance of Taika Waititi, Lin-Manuel Miranda, Patrick Stewart, Sting, the Muppets, JCVD getting frog slapped into oblivion both physically and lyrically, that Dune still sucks. It's a slow burn of stupid, and it'll never get better.
All right. Anyway, I want to take a second to jump on my soapbox here for a second. So I was watching Fast 9, and I was like, you know what? John Cena could play Ernest. Like, look at that face. So, and Max brought it to my attention that he couldn't play Ernest because he is so muscular. So I came up with a pitch to reboot Ernest. You guys ready for this? Ernest takes steroids. Boom. Done. $1 million idea. John Cena as Ernest. We fixed the whole muscular thing. I think it's $1 million idea. Hollywood, send me all the money.
I think John Cena in a Jean-Claude Van Damme biopic would be hilarious, though.
No.
He's about 12 feet too tall for JCVD.
I know. That's why it would be hilarious.
Would it honestly be a problem, though, if Ernest was played by him and had muscles?
No.
I mean, I don't think so. I mean, no one's like, oh, no, this doesn't have Jim Varney. I can't bother seeing that.
I have,
But
yeah.
Justin came up with a better title. Ernest Goes to the Gym.
There
Yes.
you go. That's
Yes.
better.
Yes,
And
let this happen.
You could have John Cena do all the physical comedy you want because he's used to taking bumps. So
Actually, you know what you could do instead of Ernest Goes to the Gym? There was already an Ernest Goes to Prison, and make it where he goes in skinny, he comes out John Cena because his yard time was spent.
Jim Varney walks in, John Cena walks out.
Little Jim Varney.
I'd watch it.
Like Ernest is you can't you can't have
Ernest Goes to Jail.
Now John Cena could absolutely be Ernest's ripped cousin or whatever. Like there's a small family resemblance there.
But
like,
he's also still Ernest. His name is still Ernest.
Yeah.
It's my brother Daryl, the smarter brother Daryl.
Daryl. Okay, I'll even give you that, but he can't be like the Ernest. He because Ernest is his own character. He's that little guy, and he having him beat John Cena is just too much. Like
Ernest scared Cena.
John Cena. It takes away from the character.
I gotta say, I thought I was the only person, but apparently this is on the internet everywhere. Like people are on this train.
Oh, that's fantastic.
People are running a train.
I hope.
Well, the problem is you'd never be able to see him on the TV.
Right.
John Cena as the invisible Ernest.
All right, Justin, for pitch / story, who takes the win for you? Who gets your point?
My point went to Dan because Dan, I feel like Dan's modus operandi is grand and epic. I think Dune deserves grand and epic. And the other pitch was just like, hey, we're putting Muppets into Dune, which I liked. I do like Muppets. But like grand and epic seems to fit the Dune modality much better, I think.
Fair. Max, who does your point go to?
Begrudgingly, it goes to Dan.
Yeah, this hurts Max, by the way, Tim and Kath.
Yes.
That's okay.
I was picking up on that.
If nothing else,
anytime I get any kind of point from Max, it hurts.
If nothing else comes from today, at least Dan gets points from Max.
You should see him on Sheldon's sofa when he kind of likes something, but he doesn't want to say it. And he's like,
Anyway, yeah, I really enjoyed the book Dune, and I really feel like it never got a fair shake as far as the movie was concerned. So while I would not go to the theater to see the musical Dune attraction, I would like to see whatever 3D movie-ness that Dan puts out like that. I was interested in that. So yeah, I'm gonna have to give that over the Muppets. The Muppets are okay. I'm just not a crazy huge Muppet fan. So unfortunately, my money's going to the giant oil fields in Saudi Arabia production. Yes.
Fair. Now you talk. Okay. Max just
lost a very balanced breakfast with that picture.
Yes. You just need everything else in the breakfast.
All right, everybody. Writer and director. Max, let's start with you. Who got your point? Leave the music out of it for now when we get to the cast and stuff. But for now, what's your writer and director?
Okay. Writer and director. I really like Taika Waititi and Hamilton. So and it sucks too because like Taika Waititi is the only director I've ever mentioned the last 5 things we've done. But yeah, I got to give it to him. I think that's and still they can still do a great musical. With Dan's whole thing. But yeah, as far as just writer and director go, I will have to give it to Funny Science Fiction on this one.
Mr. Justin.
If we're removing soundtrack, I'm going to go the same as Max then with Funny Science Fiction. Because I combined the Lord of the Rings soundtrack with that pick. So, but go ahead. Sorry, but no, I'm going with Funny Science Fiction then, if we're removing soundtrack.
Mm-hmm. Save soundtrack for a tiebreaker. What is your favorite cast, Justin?
Mine is going into funny science fiction with the Muppets, because I said I love Muppets, and I love the idea of pushing the Muppets into Dan's plot. Just like force feeding Dan's plot into Muppet cast. I think that'd be a lot of fun.
I'm okay with that.
Yeah, I think you would be too.
I feel like together we actually would make a good Dune movie.
Because Dan actually fucking cares about Dune.
Dan cares enough about Dune to take our stupidity and go, no.
I can make that work, but no to the rest of it.
Oh, good God.
Who is your cast?
Fucking Dan. Jesus.
Is that your answer?
Meatloaf.
Fucking Dan?
Yes. Yes. Even though, so
wait, hold on.
Fucking
Who's
Hamilton.
Dan?
Somebody, I'm sure.
The Hamilton is going to have to direct and star in this movie, which is fine. But
poor guy.
Hamilton.
But I mean, Tim Curry, fucking Bruce Dickinson, Billie Eilish casting. I think that's just really good casting. Meatloaf. I just
want to see Meatloaf with all the gunk on his face. Like,
yes, yeah, like I'm down for that. God damn it! I'm very
if nothing
upset.
else.
I'm
I don't
very
care
upset right now.
I don't even care if I lose. I'm enjoying Max flipping out about having to give Dan points.
Yeah,
so,
it's very enjoyable.
Fucking terrible.
That's
it
a win.
Feels awful.
It's a
this
win
is great.
Win.
All right.
If I lose, I'm winning this.
Right. I agree, Tim.
Max, we are going
Terrible.
to you. What was your favorite marketing?
I mean, even though Dan had the better marketing, I want to give it to Funny Science Fiction just to not have to give
just to break the monotony of you picking Dan stuff.
No, I'm gonna have to go with Dan. I really love the idea of Dune gas because it speaks to the better metaphor of like gas being the spice that they ship out on Dune, and also the additive Happy Meal where you have to keep on buying Happy Meals is like marketing genius. So I'm gonna give it to Dan on that one. So Dan was obviously my winner of this remake. God damn it.
We lost no book and pen guy.
Oh no.
Come back, book and pen. Come back.
My marketing, the same thing. I mean, because Funny Science Fiction gave us a Happy Meal-esque type of thing with Jack in the Box, but Dan did as well, and he added oil. And I think oil is important for every American.
And who likes Jack in the Box?
I like Jack in the Box. It's fine.
Jack in the Box is fine, but it's like only on the West Coast. Like,
oh, speak up, Tim.
Hashtag not my marketing.
Don't look at me.
What?
It wasn't me.
That's two of you.
No, that was me. That's all right. I was pretty adamant about Jack in the Box. I'm like, we're putting Jack in the Box in this because they're putting their hand in the box over there. We're putting our hand in the box over here.
I appreciate how it came.
You're gonna give us points.
Tim,
that's not even the most important part of the film.
Tim, it's
not
not
30 minutes, man.
How's this? How about you make Jack in the Box boxes, but they have like sandworm faces, and you put your hand in it,
and oil inside,
or and oil inside it smells like cinnamon.
It just
you call your ketchup
Jack
oil spice.
Is not they're not big enough for me. So I'm like, I appreciate what you did with the Jack in the Box, but if they were a bigger, if they were at least a Wendy's level,
and I knew that going into it, they weren't big enough, but
I really think that the Dune gas is just the best thing.
Clearly, we didn't understand the assignment. I didn't know we were supposed to go out and buy out like Dubai.
You had no
I mean, clearly you didn't understand the assignment because you didn't watch the movie.
No, I chose not to punish
science
myself.
Fiction podcast that can't watch the science fiction movie. I mean,
reality.
No, we like science fiction, but we like it to be good. So we see no reason to punish ourselves. That's like saying, hey, I should sit down and watch a Jean-Claude Van Damme movie. That's not going to happen either. I've already lost this, so I'm going all in.
I mean,
so
I watched Gone with the Wind, so I have no sympathy for you.
Yeah,
I had to sit through that.
In all transparency, we've known about this whole remake revolution thing for months, and we literally did this yesterday.
we may have taken a page out of Notebook and Pen Guy's way to do this, because we saw his example the last time we were on, and he's like, nah, I don't need prep time, I'll just do it. And we kind of waited till the last minute to do the same thing. So.
It was the textbook group project that you got an extension and you still did it the night before.
I got to ask
together this morning.
Did you guys do the work? Did you guys make John do all the work?
Yeah.
He only did the pitch storyline part for us because he actually knew the storyline.
And we bounced ideas off of each other. We helped John with the story, but what about doing it like this with this guy? What about that with that guy? And but yeah,
thank you, John.
Tim, that's not the worst marketing. John and I, we did Remake Revolution for Weekend at Bernie's. So for our marketing pitch, we pitched funerals at dinner.
Oh my God.
Pancakes would make funerals better.
That's what I'm saying. Who doesn't want Denny's? It's like $5.99 for like a truck full of food.
Or this is the death of Denny's. You can look at it either way.
I could just envision myself sitting there going, poor Uncle Paul. And yes, I'd like the moons over my hammy with a side of orange juice.
I want one of their
extra pulp, because that's what Uncle Paul would have wanted.
Dan has been waiting to win one of these for quite some time, so I'm going to kick Dan off into a solo camera. Dan, the soapbox is all yours. Speak.
Yeah, you really didn't prep him at all. Yeah.
I won the thing, and now
I love the deer in the headlights look. He was so scared, like, oh God, I'm by myself.
He's like, it would be exciting if I had won to somebody who actually cared.
Yeah, really. Like, I think this is just like, this is bottom of the barrel. Like hey, we did.
Here's your participation trophy.
Exactly.
We just added Muppets to shit, and we pronounced everything wrong. You win now.
Welcome to your 5th grade field day participation trophy.
This is great.
You won. Versus the kid who fell and broke their ankle.
Yeah,
you won for showing up. Well done, you.
But thanks for all those points, Max. It was very nice.
If nothing else, I'm going to take the victory of making it so that Max had to give Dan so many points.
That's fine.
You're a jerk.
You get it now.
This is Max's head is
that
exploding.
was almost Rage Against the Machine.
Max's head is exploding, so I went with the nuclear blast in the background for the rest of the show.
But it's okay because Harrison Ford is sitting there.
My head isn't exploding. I just hate myself. That's all.
It's okay. You'll get over it.
Now I got to get with George and show him some real.
No,
John lost.
No. Abort.
I'll do it.
Hold on.
That one's already been done, hasn't it?
As a host of the Three Geeks podcast that does panels where we discuss comic book movies, I have subjected myself to some of the worst comic book movies of all time, just so I have them in my back pocket to discuss. You guys, as a host of a science fiction movie or podcast, you guys should at least have Battlefield Earth in your back pocket. See, I don't do a sci-fi podcast, so I don't ever have to watch that.
I do. I have seen it. I will never watch it again, and I will. That is the film that need not be named.
It started
as Scientology based, right? Is that the Scientology based?
Yeah, that one also didn't make the list of the 10 worst movies.
No.
George likes that one.
Yeah, what the hell,
Which
George?
is amazing because Battlefield Earth can.
You put Three Amigos on the list, but you're like, yeah, Battlefield Earth. That's still cool.
That's a winner.
Yeah, I mean,
Battlefield Earth and Waterworld did not make your top 10. But yeah,
Waterworld shouldn't. Battlefield Earth.
Waterworld, Waterworld is not in the top 10 worst movies. I mean, like it's bad, but I wouldn't. I don't know. I have fun watching that movie.
When I was a kid,
I honestly have fun watching Battlefield Earth because there's John Travolta is just like eating every scenery ever made in that movie. Like, Before you learn to spell your name, it's fucking awful.
Man,
there are very few movies
Dan
for me where
watched that movie
Travolta is
yesterday.
acceptable.
What movies do you like John Travolta in, Tim?
Face Off. I thought he was really good in that. I think he's really good in. It's a movie that didn't get a lot of love, but I thought he was the perfect bad guy in Punisher. With Thomas Jane.
No, you were very wrong.
It's okay.
Wow. I agree.
I thought he did a really good job as the bad guy.
I thought he did a really good job in Hairspray.
He did a fantastic job in Hairspray.
I've actually never watched Hairspray.
Because it's a musical and you hate musicals.
Well, there you go. That's why.
Oh, but the little fat girl gets everything, and it's nice,
and that's fine. Kudos to her.
You should speak to the little fat girl inside of you, Tim.
Yeah.
Look, the fat guy on the outside doesn't care.
But I think he really does.
No, not really.
So this is something that I think needs to come to the Pop Culture Addicts is making Tim watch musicals. And
just
musicals.
like that, the Pop Culture Addicts have just ended.
But Pop Culture Addicts is still going.
We need to talk about the influence of musicals on pop culture, Tim.
Just like that, Pop Culture Addicts became the one Pop Culture Addict, and he does not watch musicals.
Tell you what, when you cover a musical, I'll come on and we'll make Tim watch it.
Actually, Tim, in honor of you not liking musicals, Dan and I will do the rest of the podcast in musical format.
No.
That I would stick around to watch. I mean, I have my own leave button, but I'll stick around to watch that.
Own leave button.
I want to thank everybody for tuning in to the Three Geeks podcast.
All right.
See, it's funny to me is part of Tim's issue with musicals is why are you doing it in song and dance? Couldn't you just say it? And it's like,
no.
But
I don't. Well, I mean, why are you acting when you're not doing it in real life? I mean, that doesn't make any damn sense.
Okay, but
and in my world, I have a soundtrack all the time. How do you guys not just constantly hear music?
No, there's a difference between having a soundtrack and having some dude walk up to. I've never had a customer walk in the door of my shop and be like, I need a 4 foot by 8 foot sign today. You know, that never happens.
And then where's your shop?
I feel like you're gonna
do it. They roll in.
For that point alone, Dan, I'm not telling you. But anyway.
I will.
But
guys,
the thing is,
when we're in Michigan next month.
There's differences between suspending disbelief because it's science fiction or suspending disbelief because it's a rom-com or some whatever it may be. Between that and it being a musical, you don't see people in everyday life walking around and singing to each other and dancing on all around, pumping gas and be like, I'm so happy. That doesn't happen.
Well,
but
time with me.
Yeah, no, it would not be better. It would not. Oh God, no, it would be horrible. Because look, here's the thing. I'm not saying I have a beautiful singing voice. I don't. But what I am saying is that most people can't carry a tune in a bucket, and I don't want to hear those people singing.
Well, who carries tunes in buckets, Tim?
Yeah, really. I think you're just making like a wall wherever you want there because like I could say
he doesn't like musicals. It's okay to not like musicals.
Exactly. You want to have a soundtrack playing in your life at all times? That's fine. Go for it. I'm down with music.
So
do it. But musicals, no.
It's fine if you don't like musicals. I'm just saying, like, trying to explain why you.
We're just telling you why you're wrong.
Yeah.
No, he's not.
That part is wrong.
I don't feel like Tim is trying to explain why people should like musicals. He's explaining why he doesn't like musicals.
Yeah, I don't care.
Totally fine.
If you love musicals,
is it
more power to you? I don't really care. I'm just telling you that they're heinous and awful and shouldn't be made.
Man, shots fired.
Wow. Unless it's a musical with Muppets and I get to see Jean-Claude Van Damme get slapped, then I'm down for it. I'd sit down and watch that.
As a person who hates most things, but I don't hate musicals.
He does hate most things.
Yes, he does hate most things.
I'm with you, man. Just hate it if you want to hate it. Like, there's nothing wrong with that. Don't let them fucking tell you any different.
No, it's not.
Trust me.
I've developed this. It's taken me 44 years to develop this mentality. It's not changing tomorrow. So
Well, that's sad.
Good man.
I don't know. At one
Fight
point,
the
you
power,
hated
bro.
Clone Wars,
Fight the
and
power.
you came around to that. So I'm gonna keep pushing it. Keep pushing it.
Clone Wars.
Pod racing? What?
I just like I don't feel like it's called Star Wars and war is actually terrible and like I don't think it should be for kids. Like that's my problem with the Clone Wars. Is like there's a lot of stuff in there that's just for kids. And
the problem is all Star Wars is made for kids. If you want to be honest,
but
every Star Wars movie, show, everything is designed with kids in mind.
Yeah,
as you have to start with that basis. So the fact that they made cartoons about wars is kind of par for the course.
They made cartoons about Ewoks and droids.
Yeah, all that stuff can go.
And then there's video games with homicidal Ewoks that.
Yes.
So I'm bringing back Van Damme Nation. Jean-Claude dropped the new movie on Netflix, and I'm going to invite Tim to come on with me. And I think that'll be a lot of fun. Tim and I will do the only Van Damme movie that's like super popular amongst critics and so forth.
Star Wars is
when did you want to do that?
We'll do JCVD together.
On that.
When did you want to do that?
Like I'll give you a month.
I'll be busy.
See, we just got pretty interesting like 6 minutes before we go off air. Somebody just said, I don't think Star Wars is for kids, and I could like jump all over that, but
no, but I'm like I'm just saying just for kids. No, but like I'd say Star Wars is for teenagers maybe, but not for kids. Like the dude's parents get like. I don't think so. Like I disagree. I don't feel like the first 3 Star Wars movies, or the first 2. We'll go with the first 2 Star Wars movies are for kids. Like when you introduce Ewoks, yes, now it is for kids. I 100% understand that, but I don't feel like the first 2 Star Wars movies are just for kids. Like there's stuff that kids enjoy in them, but it's not for kids. I didn't see that. So
I'm taking a quote from Lucas himself. That's why I said that.
Oh, okay.
All right, everybody, welcome to the Three Geeks podcast.
Lucas said a lot of dumb shit.
I want to thank everybody for tuning in and checking out our show. We love everybody out there in our audience. Check out the Perfect 10 tonight, even though I don't know necessarily that George's list will be perfect, but we'll find out. We don't know. And check out Kathleen and Tim at Funny Science Fiction. You can find me in the comments section of all of their videos, giving Tim the same kind of crap we gave Tim today. Tim is one of my favorite people in podcasting, so it's all out of love. And check out their show, Pop Culture Addict, and Funny Science Fiction, and Focused on Ford, and everything else that's coming on. And you can find them with us next month at Monroe Pop Fest. And from all of us at the Three Geeks podcast, everybody, enjoy this closing segment that I pulled just for Tim. Good night.
Oh boy. All right, Jean-Claude Van Damme, man.
Max, are you going to recycle the droids?
He's over it.
I guess.
He's over it. He's hungry.
How many times do we have to go over this? Turkey is a very real country. Studios